So we talked about how the lady can move on and the likes. So today now we're going to be treating on the male perspective, and really this person is a detailed person. I have worked with him for quite some times, and is a very knowledgeable person with experience, and is one of Pastor Kingsley's mentees. So trust me, I'm in safe hands. So I've invited him. I don't know why he's not joining in now. So okay, for those that just joined, I would send his bio again, so you can go through the bio, so you can check it. Okay, I don't know. I guess he's having issues with connecting, trying to join the group. So that's what I'm trying to sort out. Please just bear with us. I'm trying to sort it out. So I sent his biography. You could check it on the group to get acquainted with him. Okay, so he has joined in. So apparently he's going to be using slides and audio recording. Just open your mind to learn from him. Like I said earlier on, he's very detailed with experience, and of course he's married. So I know some of us will be like, so this person can solve my problem. So let's be open-minded. For the ladies down the group, I said yesterday that for the sake of your friends, your brother, and your partner, just make sure you are on the class. So without further ado, let us make welcome our guest for tonight, Mr. Kasali Emmanuel Abiodun. Sir, over to you. Thank you very much for honoring us with your presence. So it's over to you now. Why he's not speaking yet? Um, and his mic is no.
Okay, I don't think I'm going to use the slide. Can you hear me clearly now?
I'm coming. Yes, we can. I want to try and make you an admin so that you can have access to it.
Okay, so trying to use my system, and I don't think it's allowing me also speak via it. So let me see if I can use another method.
Okay, please, he's trying to share his screen. He prepared slides. So he's trying to share the screen. So just bear with us. Like I said earlier, he's a professional. So that's why I want to make sure that everything is given a stop notch. So any moment from now, it will be sorted out. So just be patient. I know men don't like, they are not that patient, but just try to be patient. We can see your screen now.
But can we hear me via here? I think I'm just going to use this to communicate while I share my screen via the other one. So, Miss Blessing, please, could you respond if you can hear me clearly?
Yes, yes, yes. I can see your screen and I can hear you. I believe every
Can you
other
hear me
person
also?
can.
Okay. I'm sorry, I had to use this instead. I don't know what is happening. While I'm sharing, I can't also use the audio at the same time. So please bear with me. Okay, so I'm going to start immediately. I've been given about 45 minutes, and uh, I'm going to try to manage my time as much as possible. So please, again, good evening, everyone. For everyone who is on the call, it's a privilege to be here. And all glory to God for life, all glory to God for wisdom, all glory to God for knowledge and understanding. I also want to say thank you to the host for this privilege, Miss Blessing, and to everyone on this group. Yeah, thank you for being on this call. We are here to both learn. I always tell persons whenever I'm speaking at any engagement, it's a two-way thing. I'm also learning in the course of whatever I'm talking about. So I'm going to start with this. Just to, I don't know if the host have done this. Can okay, I can see those who are on the call already. Fulfillment, success, James La, Regard Moses, SOG. But then I have a question. How was our day? How was our day? Can we just put it in the chat box? I can see fulfillment, success being active with the chat box. So can we just go on there and just how our day was? For me, it was an educative and networking day through a professional hangout, and yeah, it was also a wet day. But yeah, it's a good thing at least. Maybe the whole heat saga will at least drop down in my own vicinity. So can we just use the chat box? I want to engage us. How was our day? And I don't want to say fine. I've come to realize one of the way we can appreciate uh, the gift of life or the gift of even seeing a whole day is being specific. So how was our day? Even the host can start with response just on the chat box, please. Just on the chat box. How was our day? I don't want to see fine, good, okay. No, I want to see specific response. That way, we can actually embrace what we call gratitude. I don't want to see my day was fine. And I'm practically serious. I won't take that. 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 Okay, Miss Fulfillment success. Oh, SOG was stressful. Oh. Well, at least you now have the time to rest. Please do well to rest. Rest well. Eat and rest well. Okay, I'm going to ask another question. Knowing that this was a 2-day program. Okay, thank you, Miss Blessing. Was great. All thanks to God for His faithfulness. It's still a general answer. It's still a general answer. I'm quite very serious. It's still a general answer. Okay. Hopefully you will achieve that which you've set to. Hopefully. Okay, so I understand this is a 2-day program, and we must have had a very, very educative session yesterday. I would just like us to particularly pinpoint one or two things we learned. It is one thing to have undergo a session, a training, a webinar, but it's quite important that we can say, oh, I learned this or I learned that from the session. So let's just put it there. What actually can you pinpoint from, or what would you say is your take from yesterday's session? I'll be waiting. Please, let's just make it engaging. I hope we can still hear me. Okay, okay. Oh, okay, thank you. Time doesn't really change anything, but it is what you do during the time of healing that matters. Allow yourself to feel and take your time to heal. I hope you can see it SOG. At least even before we start today's session, you now have something you can pick out. Okay, there's recording available. Thank you very much, Miss Blessing, for that. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so we'll be moving on to the next. So healing from emotional hurts and moving on. This is a topic I've been asked to talk on. This is a topic I've been asked to talk on, and specifically from the host and the male perspective. I've been asked to speak from the male perspective. I've been asked to speak from the male perspective. So, what is emotional hurt? I wouldn't want to delve into this that much because uh, I want to resume. This was touched on yesterday. Emotional hurt, which I'm just going to summarize from my own perspective. For those who were not in yesterday class, so when we talk about emotional hurt comes from negative experience, and this involves someone close to us. It could be a family member, it could be a lover, it could be a friend, it could be a mentor or other trusted individuals. And it could be from not feeling loved by a family member, or it could be as a result of the end of a relationship. It could be tragically losing someone, or the end of a love affair. And well, I'm going to be streamlining this discussion to love affair because of the season we are and what the host have actually requested me to speak on. Now, the thing is, such experiences, and I mean emotional words, can lead to building up emotional walls within ourselves. And these barriers that we believe to have protected us, when left unaddressed, these walls makes it even difficult to let go and move on from this same emotional hurt and suffering from them. The truth is, these emotional hurts can live in our minds for decades, and I mean even more than decades, and we don't get to realize how they find their way into our daily behaviors. Then you begin to see some negative effects in our lives without us realizing it. Now, I won't want to waste our time here, and I hope my slide is still showing. Okay, so my next slide says, according to a new study, men have a tendency to experience more emotional hurt than women after a relationship breakdown. If you oppose this, please raise your hand, put an emoji. If you oppose this statement, put an emoji, put an emoji, an emoji. No, yes, no, yes. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, so fulfillment success says no, she doesn't agree. Okay, blessing says yes. Jediah says yes, it's true, I've seen it. Oh, I'm glad someone can actually confirm this. I'm glad someone can confirm this. I'm really glad someone can confirm this. I'm really glad someone can confirm this. Okay, so I will ask. I don't know if we have any male in this meeting currently. Okay, for the person who said I've seen it, can you share? Miss Blessing, is it possible for someone to unmute and speak just briefly? Just share what I don't know if she's willing to actually, if she's willing to. or it's not available. If it's not available, I can move on. It's not a problem.
Jedi, unmute yourself. I know you can hear. Jedediah,
Okay.
unmute yourself. Uh-huh.
Okay,
Okay, so
so
please
it happened to me actually. So the
go on.
person I was with before I broke up was actually acting all strong until after the breakup. And then after the breakup, like a couple of weeks, the person started showing the emotional part of him. And he was hurt for months. Literally. He couldn't move on. But I moved on anyway. So
Okay,
that's
so
all.
okay. Oh, come on, blessing. Hard guy breakdown. It's I'm gonna go on to that. I hope to go on to that to share this. So the reason why I'm happy Miss Blessing has hosted this, and really I really, well, it's good she's recording it, because for a lot of guys who are missing this, I just hope they can revisit both the programs, both the sessions yesterday and today, because I believe it will really help them a lot. It will really help them a lot, because I'm happy our generation are beginning to warm up to reality itself and not what was painted to us. Because this thing that I stated was actually from a study that was carried out by an international team of psychologists. It's The research was in Lancaster University, and it actually analyzed over 184,000 persons. So this is what brought about this study, which is trending currently. But that's not my mission here, because I am just here to establish that men are more sensitive than we often think they are. And I'm happy we have a lady here who can confirm that from personal experience, and she's a lady. So coming from a lady actually weighs more. I'm really happy about that. So I'm going to say a short story. I've also been in that kind of shoe, and for some guys, it's a different way of reaction. So December 2018, this young person talking to you, I still categorize myself as a young adult. Yeah. So I ended a relationship, a 4-year relationship, December 2018, and this was after 3 days of fasting and prayer. And trust me, you cannot tell how much it hurts. I mean, you're going to look back at 4 years relationship, everything you've invested in it, the whole, I quote, perfect relationship viewed by everyone looking at it outside. A person you've taken to your parents, a person you've seen, our own parent also, you've associated with our siblings, our cousins, our grandparents, our uncles and aunts. But then life happened, and I can tell you, I was so much hurt. I was going to. Okay, please do. Okay, so I was so much hurt, and okay, before then, so I ended the relationship, and I still had the hope of we could patch things back. And I visited her. I was in River State at this point in time, yeah, and I was working and I was serving, yeah, I was working and serving, and she was in Osun State, and I visited. I had a friend, my best friend, yeah, who was also serving in Osun State, so it was to stay at this place, visit her. But unfortunately, we couldn't resolve, or we couldn't have a good understanding. Prior to my birthday again, I invited her to a outing, to a restaurant, or should I say, a fast food popular place that she has always been willing to go, and I asked her out again. But the funny thing was she told me to wait 11 months. That I have to wait till the following year, virtually the same period, for me to get an answer. Crazy, right? Okay, so yeah, I was, and that's more like, and okay, this is just totally on, should I say, there's no coming back to this. There's no coming back. And she looked fine, and okay, so I was going to accept that. Yeah, hard guy. I was going to accept that. Okay, based on, okay, I pleaded that we could be friends, and then because I'm of the school of thought, the host will bear me witness. I'm of the school of thought that you marry your friend, because this is what you do in your marriage. It is friendship all through. Someone you can gist with, someone you can joke with, someone you can do amebo with, gossip with, in quotes. Yeah, trust me, you're going to gossip a lot. Okay, so I wanted us to start from friendship, but truth be told, we just kept going apart. And because of this hurt, I was going to make a very, very bad decision. And what was this decision? Become a playboy. I mean, I've been a guy whom, let me just expose it. I've been a guy even right from my secondary school days, who ladies would chase after. But then, thank God for the kind of upbringing I have. My mom will always say this, Toby Mbarobe. I tend to understand now the meaning. Toby Mbarobe is going to become something. And so because of that, I was just always being careful. And so I spoke with my best friend, whom I said earlier on was serving in Ocean State then. He's in UK now, and he discouraged me from it, reminded me of, I mean, you can't stay that long, and then now, because of this hurt, you want to make this decision. And I thank God I took that decision. If not, I wonder where I would have been. Like Miss Blessing said, God compensated me with another woman, beautiful woman, the best in the world. Yes. So now, still talking on men experience emotional hurt. How many of us have watched superhero movies, actor and bulls, superheroes and villains? Do we notice that one of the common ways at which these superheroes or these actors are being gotten are through someone they love? You're going to find out maybe they took their wife or they took whom they're dating and then use this as a bait to draw them out. Now, what does this tell us? It further proves that indeed men are emotional. Men are emotional. I'm not speaking about guys who are just playboys, who just want to play around. I'm speaking about guys who have actually come to love a person. So, going by that, research have actually showed that, women have harder times coping with breakup. But then, guys are the ones who feel more stressed and strained when relationship hits rough patches. And the same way otherwise, men also get more of a psychology and emotional boost when the relationship is healthy. I don't know if you've seen a guy when he's actually happy in his relationship. You see, he doesn't know when he says, my girlfriend this, or my wife this, my girlfriend this, my wife this. The same way it is the other way around. It is the same way other way around. When relationships are in the rough patches, men also get stressed and strained. For women, women can just go into this emotional or cry, talk to someone. There's the possibility of depression. Now, but for guys, in as much as they might even be settling into depression, there's this hard front. There's this stronger than thou. How would I put it? They're pushing out, they're displaying instead. Now, the thing is, even another research found out that while men often put forth a brave front in the face of faltering romance, they are emotionally hurt more than women. This is another research entirely. And this is also proving the same thing I've said at the earlier stage of this meeting. Now, another example I'm going to give, what has actually brought this about, what has actually made this become a norm, is our society. Our society have actually made it easier that men can express themselves women can express themselves, when they're emotionally hot, why men just have to bottle it in. For those of us who had brothers, it might have happened to some of us who were females. For those of us who had brothers and those who are men here, I don't know if something have happened. Probably somebody hurts you, and then maybe your parent or an elderly person will say, "Don't cry, don't cry, big boys don't cry. Should be a big boy, don't cry." Now this you can see how this has started. Why men are growing up. In fact, I got to find out that one of the 10 commandments of masculinity is that thou shalt not be vulnerable. Who brought that up? And I'm grateful that we have Miss Blessing have thought it wise to have sessions like this. I mean, who coined that kind of commandment? Thou shalt not be vulnerable. You will notice even while growing up, it is something that have consciously and unconsciously become a part of men. And then this boy grows up with it and feels like, okay, I'm a man, I should not cry. No, you shouldn't see me crying. The difference between the two sexes has to do with how women and men are wired neurologically and further taught socially. Now, for the woman, a region of her brain that has to do with compassion and empathy is larger than that of a man. Research have pointedly showed that. And so, also out of being birthed, she's more into nurturing. For those who will even have been taught about relationship and all that, you will have been told that women are more of the nurturers. Now, the society also have trained ladies that, oh, you can express your feelings, but then not as regards anger or even sexuality. And because of this notion, sorry, I'm digressing a little bit. That is why now that ladies are now allowed to express their sexuality, it is now going out of reach, out of bound. Previously, women are not allowed to express their sexuality. Now the society allows it, but then we've now gone extreme. So the same way women have been trained to express their feelings, men have been trained not to express their feelings. But then, oh, you can show being angry. And this has now made some men develop habits. And if care is not taken, most likely unhealthy habits. Unhealthy habits like alcohol. I give an example of deciding to become, the opposite of being a good boy. You see, I go to one or two friends to talk just to ease the pain. But most of the time, men don't have that opportunity. Because the truth is, even when you tell your friends, except you are with understanding friends, what is going to turn out is it not because of that woman you won't come the day emotional? Not that woman because of the woman you want the worry. So a man will rather bottle that in, conceal it. But in truth, it is not helping matters. It is not helping matters. Now, emotions has no gender. I think we've established that. Emotion has no gender. Emotion is a universal language of human experience. Every human has emotions. So, men, just like women, are susceptible to emotional pain. We are also open to heartbreak. We are also open to trauma. It is just the societal expectation that has conditioned men to wear a mask of enduring pain without displaying the feelings or without complaining. And then there's just that illusion that, oh, men are not vulnerable. But in truth, men are vulnerable. In fact, more vulnerable than we can imagine. In a bid to actually uphold this expectation. Now that's why you see men not being able to build meaningful connections or even maintain positive mental well-being. How does it affect them eventually? Now, it is possible that a single event can trigger opposite reaction. I give an example of myself. And this is because the subconscious mind of a person who has an emotional hurt around relationship can associate new experience with past trauma. So as a result, now, when faced with triggering events, their mind fires up overwhelming emotions. Now, I had the privilege of counseling, like the host earlier mentioned. I co-run a counseling online session, and I had the privilege to counsel two couples. They are not married. They were not married, and they are not married. The lady was actually known to her, so she preferred I handle it so she could be unbiased. And after the whole counseling and all that, the issue was actually whenever the lady travels, because they were not in Lagos, whenever the lady travels to Lagos to see her aunt, the guy has this idea that no, there's someone else she's coming to see. And even as much as we kept on emphasizing, okay, he accepted that, okay, fine, he agrees. But then it was now a repeating occurrence. And so they had to go separate ways. Now, fast forward this year, I dropped an article, and I just realized this guy came to my DM and said, oh, loud it more. And I mean, I couldn't recall this person. So I called on the person I corresponded, and she checked who the person was, and she was like, no, this is the guy of the lady I introduced you to counsel and all that. And then the lady too both of them just started replying each other on the platform. And then I just had to come in. The lady has moved on, but this guy have not moved on yet. Now, but in essence, if this emotional hurt from previous relationship is not handled, unconsciously, it will always sabotage other relationships. It will sabotage multiple areas in lives. And this can manifest in shape of insecurity. It can express itself as negative emotions such as jealousy, anxiety, obsession, or even anger. And you will agree with me that this definitely negatively impacts on one's relationship. Unless we now even talk about your career, because for some persons, emotional wound can show up in the shape of impatience, hesitation, self-doubt. This emotion can just cause you to have a kind of friction in your workplace. You get discouraged to speak up in discussions, or even imagine someone that worries a lot based on the emotional hurt. It's one way or the other will affect your performance, either your business or your job. It could affect your perspective to seeing things. Someone who has lost trust issues, someone who has trust issues already because of a previous emotional hurt, now gradually is developing it to, okay, even when somebody is saying something truthfully, there is that atom, probably a triggering event, as I said earlier on. Something just looks similar to what has happened before. You just feel, okay, no, this person is actually lying. And the worst of this effect is when it's on yourself. You begin to imagine and compare yourself and look, okay, probably there's a fault with me. Is it that, okay, I'm too fat? Is it that I'm too slim? Or is it because, for guys, or is it because I wasn't tall? Is it because I don't have the six packs and the broad chest? Is it because I'm dark skinned? Now, this behavior will harm your self respect, self esteem, your self image, even your self worth. But now let's explore why it is important. Let's explore why it is important, or how. Let's just explore how you should heal. What are the steps to emotional healing? See, the first and foremost thing, even Miss Blessing being a therapist will want to first achieve, even when you walk up to her, is acknowledging. And that's the strength. Acknowledging that, okay, I am actually emotionally hurt. And this is more difficult for men. Unlike women, women are more likely to identify relationship problems and immediately they could consider therapy. But then when it comes to men, oh my God, it's more like the society have made men perceive it as it's a feminine thing. I don't know if you've gone for relationship programs, marriage programs. Okay, I'm going to put this to the listen. Which gender do we see more? You will bet with me that what we see more are women. Because men will just tell you that is a women thing. Thank you, Miss Blessing. I can see your comments. Because men have seen it that, oh, it's a women thing. So one of the steps of healing is actually what? Identifying, acknowledging that, yes, I am emotionally hurt. Although, yes, every man desires to, how will I put it? To actually not feel emotionally hurt. But it's there. So instead of acknowledging it, it is the opposite. The desire is to acknowledge, is the acknowledgement of, oh, he's brave and he's courageous. But it's important that every man break free from these societal norms. Seek assistance they need. See, because otherwise, ignoring emotional struggles will only lead to build up of unresolved pain, ultimately resulting in severe anxiety, depression, a lot of attributes or characteristics that can actually develop from this. And it will now affect work performance, like I said earlier on, your friendship, your relationship. Now, aside identifying it, it's important that you now identify the source. In my other profession, as a QHSES profession, we call it root cause. Because it's one thing, oh, the relationship has ended. Oh, it hurts me a lot. What actually hurts? What actually led to the break up? And after that, you have to come up with forgiveness and practicing self-love. If not, you're still going to look at, oh, yeah, peradventure, even in identifying the source, you realize you probably contributed to even experiencing it. But that is where identifying helps you. Because the next thing now is what? How you deal with it. Accepting it that yes, it has happened. Okay, how do we move on forward? And in this stage, you might require a professional, either a counselor or a therapist, who will now help you address the roots and then moving on. Now, you realize I said moving on and not moved on. you will realize I said moving on and not moved on, because it's a continuous process. It's a continuous process. It's something that has happened, and it has been a part of you, although your past. And because it's an emotional thing, there are tendencies, there are possibility of the memories coming back again. So I'm going to paint a scenario. I said, how do you know when you are emotionally healed? Is physical healing so much different from emotional healing? Now, so I'm going to paint a scenario. Now, when a car accident happens to a person, we agree that this person is physically wounded. Now, peradventure, it's so worse. Now, he or she is admitted into intensive care units, the ICU. Now, after the whole operation, do this person just get healed all of a sudden? I mean, do this person just get normal all of a sudden? I mean, you just feel like, oh, yes, I've gone through ICU, I'm perfectly fine. The answer is no. Every one of us understand that, oh, after this person going through this intensive care unit, we have to give this person time, gradual process to heal. So how different is it to emotional healing? The same way you need time to heal physically from a physical, no matter how tiny the wound is the same way you need time to heal emotionally. The same way you are going to need to undergo using your medicine, eating well, resting well, in order for you to be physically and mentally okay back. Emotional hurt also has to go through similar, but just in a different way. Your medicine could be you attending therapy, could be you now practicing some other habits, positive habits, to help you move on. And it doesn't exempt you eating well and resting well, because this helps your mental health. Now, I have established that the same way you're going to expect physical recovery to take time, you should also expect emotional recovery to take time. But the truth is, physical recovery is faster than emotional recovery, because you've injured, you've gone through the required process, it has taken time, it has healed, it is physical. But emotion is unpredictable. Another thing is, healing process is never the same for any two persons. For just physical healing, we have the same cut. I can heal within 2 days, and for the other person, it might take 4 days, 5 days, depending on our body composition. The same way also emotional healing. Your journey through psychological healing, through emotional healing, is completely unique. And so it's important that you don't put time limits. So with that being said, it may not be possible to pinpoint the exact moment you become healed. Like I said earlier on, healing process is constant and an ongoing journey. Because you yourself, you're always in a state of change and flux. You may notice you have achieved a sense of peace and contentment when you follow the steps I've highlighted earlier on, and the ones Ms. Blessing have also highlighted. But however, as life goes on and situation changes, you may find yourself going back again to one of those steps in need of emotional healing once more. And that is because something triggering has happened again. And this is completely normal, because we are ever changing, and there's need to adapt to respond to different stages. So, peradventure you experience this, it's just simple. Come back to those steps again. You keep on following this step until you can achieve your state of peace again. Now, the signs of being emotionally ill, you're going to see increase in self-awareness. Your relationship gets improved. Improved physical health. This now moves me to the reason why it's important you heal and you move on. The reason why it's important you heal and you move on. Maybe I'm going to throw this question. Okay, I've actually shared my slide. Okay, something different from my slide. Just to engage us. You can just one or two reasons why you think people need to move on. People need to heal from emotional hurt. I don't know if you've heard the word heal before you deal. Heal before you deal. So anyone can drop this in comment section if we are following something different from what I've stated here. Okay, so I'm going to move on. Okay, improved self-awareness, improved physical health. Now, the problem is this. We often let past fears, define our present decision. And this prevents us from reaching our full potential. But I'm here to just tell you, it's time you drop every past baggages, hurts, or you make attempts to deal with them. Because you might be surprised to suddenly to have this courage to pursue other passion projects that you have always desired. And like someone said earlier on, it helps your physical well-being. Now, healing emotional hurts and moving on helps you from being prisoner from your past and become an architect of your future. I give an example of the person I counseled, whom, for the fact that you have not healed, it will definitely affect your present and your future. And the more you keep this, the more you allow this hurt to fester, the more it gains more power. And because it's an emotional hurt, you might not realize this. You just find out that people are telling you that you have this bad character. And you're wondering, you probably didn't have this before. You have this bad trait. Oh, you are insecure. You are too jealous. And you are looking at the person like, I am not. And probably you were not before. But because you've not moved on from your emotional hurt, it has now triggered some bad traits in you. So it's important that you heal so that you don't become what? You stop being prisoner of your past and you become architect of your future. Now, it also helps you to improve on how you respond instead of reacting. Now, there are two differences between responding to a situation and reacting to a situation. These two words cut across every areas of our life, not relationship only. Someone disappointed you, you experience a disappointment either on your job, on a business, on a contract. There are two things that happens. It's either you react or you respond. Now, but going through emotional hurt healing helps you grow into a stronger, better, wiser person in all dimensions. And when I mean in all dimension, physically, emotionally, mentally, and even spiritually. You will experience a whole personality upgrade. Just like how iPhone or Techno releases upgrade every few years. Your self-esteem increases, your self-image improves, your self-love will overflow. And above all, you will regain the inner power to work on overcoming your trauma and refuse to let it dictate your life. Now, how can all this happen? It starts with emotional healing. And it could be engaging in in order to achieve this, it could be you engaging in activities or hobbies, exercise, could be you going to the gym, could be you taking up an activity that improves your life. Just like I said earlier on, each person's journey towards emotional healing is unique. And trust me, a counselor, or better still, a therapist, can serve as the best guide in this process. In the process of self-discovery and self-acceptance, you will always need someone to guide you most of the time. It could even be just a friend. But a therapist will do better, will do more, because this is now professional. So, okay, my time is now. It's important that you are mindful while you are experiencing this emotional healing. Because in as much as you are doing this set of things, this set of ways at which you can emotionally heal, like I've highlighted, Miss Blessing, I've highlighted also, remember to seek help at every time you see there's a drop down. And when I mean a drop down, when you see, okay, it's rushing all back again. So to all men there, or to all men on this call, see, breaking free from, we need to break free from the rigid expectation that, oh, men are not allowed to express themselves, but to embrace emotional expression and vulnerability. You need to debunk that fallacy that men don't get emotionally hurt. The counselors and therapists who are there to create safe space to share thoughts, share struggles, seek solace, and get support are there for both genders, not for the females only. So it's important that men normalize the pursuit of professional help. It's paramount. The same way as a man, you consult medical professionals when you have physical ailments. Oh, you probably feel like, oh, my chest begins to behave somehow, or I get weak at so part of my body, and immediately you seek medical professional help. It is crucial to also acknowledge that emotional well-being demands specialized care. Now, experts have said seeking treatment is an act of strength rather than weakness. So to men who believe, oh, if I cry, if I show my emotions, I will be considered weak. No, it's an act of strength. So I'm going to be concluding with this phrase. The more experience you have in life, the wiser you should have become. Right? But fortunately, the problem is this: most people become wounded. And this is simply because they just need an excuse to turn their own intelligence against themselves. But I will say to you, if the world around turns against you or dictates a norm for you, is it not very crucial that your intelligence stand up for you? And so I'm going to be leaving with this parting shot. I hope we can see it on my screen. So, and I said, even if you experience the most horrible hurt, you can either come out using the experience as a better human being, or you can use the experience to become a horrible mess. So whenever someone or something hurts you, you have two options. You can either become wounded or you can become wise. Now, this is a choice. If you choose to be wise, it means you are seeking to what? To heal. And that means you are taking up the required steps of healing. And like I said, you might require a specialist to accompany you in that journey. It's not a weakness. It is for your own betterment, because in the long run, you will be the one to benefit from it. Thank you. Any question?
Thank you very much. If there's any question, you can unmute yourself and ask. I don't want to call name. I don't want to call name, but you can ask. You have crushes, or you have crush. You have brothers. You have friends. Probably you have question. May I have my question, but I don't want to be rush and be the first. I want those in front to ask question first before backbenchers ask. So is there any question? Maybe you want to type it on the group or something, or you want to unmute. So while we are waiting for that, I have my own questions to ask. So first of all, thank you once again for the enlightenment. I got another different perspective about this. So I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me? Okay, okay. So my question, um, right now we are trying to get males to come out, but this very strong hold of masculinity is really, really, like I said, stronghold is really strong. So it's not a new thing. For those that really know me, they know I am crazy about K-pop and K-drama. They are fine men. So there is this K-pop group I stand, BTS. These guys, I love them so much because they are a definition of expressive males. When a song is emotional, they cry. When they feel pains, they cry. When like any hurt they feel, they are very expressive. And then on social media, we have people dragging them and calling them sissies, calling them sassy, calling them gays, because people believe it's gays that act such ways. And it got so bad that these guys started getting threats and a lot of pains. And on their Instagram account, they had to turn off their comment sections because it was tiring. Now, how do one deal with this very strong hold? Because I like this teaching, I had to talk to a number of persons to help me share the flyers because I really, really wanted guys to be on the group. And we have guys who, funny enough, but for them to have made it to this place, it's just one very crazy stuff. But eventually, we have some guys there, and I believe personally, when you affect one life, the person goes on to affect two, the two goes on to affect four, and then it keeps spreading. So it's fine. So number one question is, how do you deal with this masculinity problem, knowing that some guys are now being expressive and they are being tagged as gays, feminine, sassy, sissy, and the likes? That's one. Then number two, I recently did therapy sessions for a particular couple. Okay, let's just use counseling in that area for a particular couple. Like the relationship had already This kind of statement like the relationship at Dabaru, and I love the fact that the guy owned up and said he was the one that caused the whole problem. So normally, since it's a couple session, I have to listen to one person separately, listen to the other separately, and two of them together. So after the session in fact, the lady kicked against speaking to anybody, but I always find my way. So I had to get her number and did a little bit of introduction, got gisting, and then she started opening up. And she told me point blank that I didn't even want to talk to anybody because I was already tired of the whole thing. And when she explained her own part of the story, I really knew the guy really messed up and she was tired. Long story cut short, then she ended the relationship and till now the guy is very broken. So like how do you stop guys, because already it saw that this thing was already having issues. Like the lady said, every year they always have this problem. It's another of my gender problem, and you never seek a source for help until it was now destroyed. I couldn't even send my link for the guy to drop a review because I felt like it's going to be like my relationship ended, you're asking me for a review. So I just try to like reach out um from time to time how the guy is doing. How do you stop this damage control? Because some guys wait until everything has gotten so bad before they try to seek help. How do you deal with that? I forgot my last question. But if I remember, I would ask it. So for now, those are the um two questions. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Um, Jedida, you can drop your questions. I'll go through them. Okay, so to your first question, if I'm to point it right, how do you, are you
Can I
asking for
speak,
guys? Okay, okay, drop your question also. I'm just gonna mute
sir?
myself. Yeah, drop your question also.
Okay, thank you so much for the teachings. So I have a question. I don't know if it's part of what we're discussing actually, but then I have this person. Okay, we we broke up for a very long time, and the person's still obsessed, kind of, with me, and has caused a lot of damage to other ladies, in the sense that I have seen him with other ladies. Okay, like he's been trying to like get involved with other ladies, but it doesn't get serious. I stopped communicating with him because I thought maybe it was part of the reasons, but it's not working. And each time I ask him if he has anything going on, he will just say, "No, I'm just playing them." And so, how do you help such a person? Because honestly speaking, I'm concerned as well. This is almost like 10 years and it's still the same. So, let me not just say I've known him for 10 years, but then this whole stuff has been for like 8 years plus, and it's still the same till now. And if I ask him, have you gone through healing process? He will be like, yes, he has healed, but then it's still the same. So how do you help such a fellow? Because man, it's serious.
Okay, thank you very
Thank
much.
you so much, sir.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to start with the first one. So I was going to seek a clarification, Ms. Blessing. So you said, how do you handle the
Sorry,
social?
your voice is the volume is very very low. I guess we're straining to hear you.
Okay, okay. How about now?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay, okay. So thank you. So I was going to ask for a clarification on your first question. So are we talking about men? How do men handle the social norms on male coming out, right? Or both genders?
No, okay, no, just men, because now men are
Okay.
beginning to speak out. They are beginning to be expressive, but they are being shunned, and it's so bad that it's a crime. I just had to give K-pop because that's like one of the most sincere, as far as I'm concerned, one of the most sincere um, parts of human societal stuff, because these guys cry when they feel hurt, There was even one, he lost his grandma, and it was the grandma that actually took care of him. And he was crying when he was performing, and they called him a baby. Some said he was seeking pity. And imagine if these guys keep tapping it in, because I later got to find out that a lot of them go through a lot of depression, even to the point of committing suicide. Then how can somebody handle? We know that this stronghold, it, like I said, it's a stronghold, so it's going to take time to break it. But how do we now try to help these men despite this old stronghold? Because the more this thing keeps happening, the more they shut themselves in, and we don't want them to shut themselves in. We need men to live long. Men are dying very early. Ladies are living longer, and it's not supposed to be so. So how do one now try to do this?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. Now, we need to understand one thing. Social media will always bully you, and you will be practically shocked that the bully is coming from those who are experiencing the same thing, but cannot acknowledge the strength they see in you for having the courage to come out. Now, in fact, I was going to make a joke about what I learned of recent. The whole when you said they call them gay and all that. It has, in fact, from those who know them. Is my voice still low? Is my voice still low? Or clear now? Hello? Hello? Okay. So, what I was saying was, in fact, the actual thing that was proven was it is actually even the masculine guys that bends over. So it's not about even because he cries and all that. It's individuals, and social media will always bully you. I don't know if we were conversant of the woman that came out to say, she wakes up 4 a.m. to prepare food for her husband and all that. And yeah, some set of persons came on. In fact, after when she had been receiving her gift, some certain set of celebrities came out to just prove a point that they cannot do what she's doing. But the truth is, until we understand that everyone has free will, if God himself has given every man free will, how much we human, how much rights do we have as human over someone? So in dealing with this, you can either avoid such comments. In fact, I am aware on social media, you can actually put a kind of clause to comments that drops on your post to actually restrict comments that are derogatory, insultive, or you have to even approve comments that shows up on your platform. And there are persons who will tell you that they don't even handle their social media page. Now, but going away from the from celebrities, as a man, it comes with the understanding. Now, it comes with the understanding of you knowing the truth. If I would want to have, I'm trying to avoid not quoting the Bible, but the Bible says, when you know the truth shall set you free. And it boils down to your why. You have chosen this path because it is beneficial to you, because you now know the light, you now see the light. And the truth is, when you keep up at it, you'll be amazed at how people will begin to warm up to your star. And also, it now boils down to we who are into these practitioners. I mean, just like the program you've hosted. Imagine if this is being hosted by someone who is very, very well known. I can bet you over hundreds of persons will actually imbibe this, and it becomes a part of them. The only challenge, which in fact my mentor will always say, is how to bring them to come and listen to this kind of message. But then
those of us who the burden has been on to want to change people's life through this kind of message, emotions, relationship, we just have to be persistent. And whoever we're able to touch with it, we let the person know that, oh, kindly tell somebody else, who will tell somebody else, who will tell somebody else. I know some person might confuse it to, oh, they're just asking you to tell somebody else because of their own business. But the truth is, you're actually adding a value. And the person you're telling to tell somebody else, or the person you've told, you're actually helping the person. You're adding value to the person. So to answer your question, first, from the person, is to actually define why you have chosen to say, oh, I want to express myself because I have understood that expressing myself is for my own betterment. And now for those who are practicing helping people to go through this emotional hurt, it is high time we become more vocal with facts. And that is why you will see in my discussion here this evening, occasionally I've always come out with research has proven. And this is not me saying it. This is what research has proven. And I can tell you, I avoided as much as possible to not even go biblical stories to explain why it is important for men. Because I want to make this as much as possible to be to involve every religion. So for us who are practicing, it's important that we go out more, we put out more contents to let people understand the reason why it is important, how it helps with facts. I don't know if I've answered that question. Now,
Yes, you have. You have answered the first one.
the second question: how do you stop guys from misbehaving or from doing things to the extent that to being sour, like no point of no return? I always tell persons something. How important is your relationship to you? And
No,
one of the ways at which,
what I'm trying to say, like,
yeah,
how do you get guys not? Okay, no,
go
I
on.
said I was trying to like ask that. How do you make guys not to get to that point of like so the thing has gotten so bad, entirely bad before you seek help? Like I notice most guys has to wait until the thing has really gotten very bad before they try to seek help, and it's not really that healthy. So it was just this one that had to make me confirm it. I was like, how the ladies that has the work or that can be inculcated into these guys to make them talk early.
Okay. Okay. Now it still comes down to information. It still boils down to the same thing. Dishing out more information to let them see how this works. Mentor will say it. Another way you can dish this out, because there are men, my attitude to them is posting content. In fact, my mentor will say using books. That way, I mean, they can read the books, e-copy the physical book, and get, okay, I think I need more professional help. This person I've touched on this, but I think I need more professional help. And one of the things when you drop content is an access to you is there. Even as much as your books, and access to it is there, at which people can actually reach out to you and say, okay, this thing you said relates to me. So how can I help? I'm going to share a story. So early this year, a guy has been on my DM for over a month, and I had to apologize to him this January because he said he wanted to discuss something with me, and it's very, very important. And I was like, okay, can we discuss it over phone? And he was like, no, he wants it physical. He wants it physical. And I kept on being like, I am choked up. I'm always choked up during this festive period. So it's really going to take a lot. So, but eventually I had to reach out to him and say, okay, let's do this January. Let's meet on a neutral place. And that was Maryland. And he said something. He said he actually reached out to me because he watched a video on my Instagram page. And what I was discussing also was about something related to you will make mistakes, but then what is important is you gradually growing into your perfection, you gradually becoming better version of yourself, something related to that. I can't go into full details of everything. So in order to cope this, it is we bringing out informations, we letting men know that, oh, you don't have to wait till things are so much in unrepairable situation before you come out to seek for advice. And for ladies also, there are ways at which you can get your man to seek advice. See, we know that men has pride, men has ego, natural. But every man has big points. I was speaking in one of the youths this, and I said, I don't know why ladies have not actually learnt the good traits Delilah had. I'm sorry, I'm talking about somebody that did something bad to Samson. But then there is this attribute. You will know that she knew how to point out what she wants or what she wanted from a man that was hard man. A man that could kill 1,000 with the jaw of, with something as little as jaw of. So on that aspect, it is really dishing out more informations, and as a partner, a lady, you can always suggest it. Now, but when you are suggesting it, the same way they will tell us to tell our employers things, you don't suggest it to make him see like, oh, he's at fault. You can suggest it to make him feel like, oh, you're the one at fault. But you just want him to hear where you've had your fault, and how you guys can work over it, how you guys can improve over it. I don't know if I've answered the question. I'll be willing to see if to know if I've answered the question. If not,
Yes,
go further
you have.
into it. Now, for the
Yes, you
obsession
have.
over 8 years, now it still boils down to healing process. The person that have said he has healed has not healed. The person has not healed. The person has not healed. You cannot heal and still have an obsession. Or probably the person has gone through healing process that is not adequate enough. There might be hidden questions now that have not been found out. What was the thing that attracted him to you? What are the qualities he sees in you? These are things a therapist will go through. Okay, what caused the whole separation? Okay, how does he become a better version of himself? First, working on himself first, and then now, be open to a relationship. Like I used the word earlier on, you can't deal until you heal. And so, and it also comes with, you said the person is saying, no, he's just using these people to pass away time. It comes with also mental reorientation. Because I can tell you, if I had started the single word, I said, oh, I want to be a playboy, I probably would not have gotten out of it. And so, an habit, another thing I tell people is, to break an habit, you have to use another habit to break an habit. Probably what the person is going through is, I'm sorry, but I'm of the school of thought. Not everything comes with, oh, let's bind and cast out one demon out of this person. And there are other ties we don't know about. aside emotional ties, intimacy ties, this could be an hindrance for him to say, oh, I want to move on. So it will take the person actually seeking proper therapist. And if it involves a spiritual concern, then yeah, whoever the therapist is will know what further assistance needs to be done. Because you can't go through a therapist. One of the jobs a therapist they've helped you through it. Most of the time, once in a while, they come to you to see how well you have been doing. And so a professional will not see that, oh, I've done my work and there is no progress, and still leave it that way. So I don't know if I've answered that question. The person needs to seek professional help, professional counseling, professional therapy to work through this. It is not within your power to help the person. It is not. So have I answered that question? Because of our time, I'll quickly want to answer the last question. But let me know if I've not answered that. Jedida, let me know. Okay, so the last question. Yeah?
She's offline, so she would definitely get the recording and listen to it.
Okay, no problem. So the last person said, if I'm hurt in marriage by the anger, misbehavior, causes, arrogance, and disrespect of my wife, what advice will you give me? Okay, seek a therapist. That's just it. Seek a counselor or seek a therapist. Because I will not answer this question by not knowing the root cause, by not knowing what is actually the problem. Why is she being angered? Why is she misbehaving? Why is she laying causes? Why is there a form of disrespect? So my advice is seek a professional. You either seek a counselor or you seek a therapist. You might seek a counselor who might now push you on to a therapist if it's something that has to do with deep mental reorientation or rewiring. I don't want to use words that are so deep. That's just what I'm going to answer to that. That would be my advice. Seek a professional help. Both of you. If your partner wants, you can start first, and then just like Miss Blessing applied wisdom in getting the other partner into it. That is what professional persons will do. That is what professional counselors, therapists, specialists will do. They will always help you find a way out in order to get your partner into the seat and then seek solutions for both of you. I mean, both of you are married, and I believe for persons like Mrs. Blessing, divorce is least option. I mean, least option they're going to give you. So seek a professional help. That's just my advice. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our head have collect this now.
Thank you. Thank you for the privilege. I hope to listen to myself also.
In case you still have questions, you could drop it. Okay, so in you have question, you could either send a DM or do a message on the group. We are far behind time. So really, thank you very much for your time. We're hearing your wife at the background. I know she needs attention. So at this point, let us close the call.
Big time. Thank you very much.
Really appreciate for your time.
All right.
Beginning to
thank you, everyone. It was a privilege. Have a good night, everyone. Stay blessed.
Thank you, Fulfillment. Thank you, SOG, and the other person that came. Yeah, thank you. So I'll drop the recording after class, and I'll talk for next month. Thank you and good night.